Hello, brilliant students. You're welcome to class today. Again, we are going to continue with our topic, trigonometry. I want to believe you have been learning a lot on this platform. Okay, so before we commence the class, I want you to invite your friends. Let them know the class have started. Okay, let's do that within few seconds before we commence the class. All right. Okay. Now we are going to be looking at a particular question today. Is a Waec pass question under trigonometry. Let me put that on the board. All right. Okay. This is the question. Now, before we start, I want you to invite your friends. Okay. Let's see if we have a good number before we commence the class. Okay. You are all welcome to class. All right, Nifemi Banjo, you're welcome to class. And okay, I think I can see Omolara as well. You're welcome to class. Okay, all right. Don't forget to invite your friends. And if you are just joining the class, don't forget you need to give the class a thumb. All right. So that is your own contribution to this program. All right, so give the class a thumb, and if you are new in this channel, all right, so don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that whenever we on air, you will be duly notified. Okay, all right, we are looking at this question, the past question. Why past question? So I want us to look at the questions together. Okay, now let's read the question. Now, a student stands 20 meters away from the foot of a tree and observes that the angle of elevation of the top of the tree measured from a table 1.5 meters above the ground is 34 degrees 28 minutes. Calculate the height of the tree to the nearest meter. Okay. To solve this problem, the first thing is I must understand the concept of the question. All right, before I start drawing. So I must understand what the question is talking about. Now, I can see that a student is viewing the top of a tree from a top of a table, which is 1.5 meters. All right, and that table is on the horizontal ground with the tree. Okay, so now let's begin with this. Suppose this is the height of the tree, and we have a table. The table has a height of 1.5 meters. Okay, and that table is perpendicular to the horizontal ground. Now let's go back to the question. Now, a student stands 20 meters away from the foot of a tree. Here is the foot of a tree. Let's call it L. Now, the student is here. But of course, now we know that that student is viewing the top of this tree from the top of the table. All right? From a table which is 1.5 meters. So that means the student is here. Let's represent this point with S. Okay? And the top here of the table with T. Now, the distance between this student and the foot of the tree is what? From the question is what? 20 meters. So we have 20 meters here. Okay, I want to believe you all understand now. So now the student now view the top of this tree at an angle of elevation of 34 degrees 28 minutes. So now let's draw a line here. So the angle of elevation here is 34 degrees 28 minutes. Okay, so this is the angle of elevation, and this one is going to be right angle for this. Okay, so this is the diagram. Now, the first thing we need to settle now is the angle we have here. All right, you have 34 degrees 28 minutes. So you need to convert this to complete degrees. All right, so how do you do that? Now, let's say 34 degrees 28 minutes. Now, to convert this minutes to degrees, you have to divide this by 60. All right. So now this gives us 34 degrees plus. Now I want to add the minute now, but I'm converting the minute to degrees. So that's going to be 28 over 60 degrees. All right. I hope you get that. So now that is going to give you 34 degrees plus. Now let's divide that. You can make use of your calculator. So 28 divided by 60. So what do we have? We have is 0.46, or let's say 7 degrees. Okay, so now we now have 34.47 degrees. So that is going to be the angle of elevation here. So that means here we have it as 34.47 degrees. So that's the angle. It's equivalent to 34 degrees 28 minutes. I want to believe every one of you understand that. So you can convert minutes to degree. Now, before we go into this work properly, I want you to do this for me. Convert um, convert 12 degrees 34 minutes to degrees. Okay, now can you do this? Convert this to minutes. Let me see, to degrees rather. Convert 12 degrees 34 minutes to degrees. Let's see what you can do. So once you can do this, so that means we don't have any problem with this. Okay, so now can you tell me what is going to be the answer to this? Now do it quickly now and drop your answer in the comment section. So that gives me an impression that you understand what I just explained to you. All right, so now can we drop our answer and let me see what you have here. Okay, is anyone? Okay, I can see, is that Nifem? Okay, that has been retracted. Okay. Yes, I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, 12.57. That is Nifemi, that's good. Thanks for that. Yes. Any other person? Any other person? I think I have Oluwatosin here and also have Huba here. Yes, okay. Banjo, I can see 12.57. Okay, 12.57, 12.56 degrees. Okay, Omolara, I can see your answer. Okay, all right. I think we are all doing fine. Now let's see. Now to convert this to degrees, so what you have is 12 degrees plus 34 over 60. All right, so that's going to be in degree. So now 34 over 60 gives you 0. So that's going to be 0.56, or let's say 0.57 to 2 dp. So once we add it together, so we have 12.57 degrees. So if you get the answer, put your hands together for yourself. That's good. That's very smart of you. All right, so that means once angle is given in minutes, so you should be able to express it in degrees. That's very good. Now let's now come back to what we have here. Now I'm taking it all over again, so you see. Now a student stand 20 meters away from the foot of a tree. Now this is the tree and this is the foot of the tree, and the student is here. Okay, so 20 meters away from the foot of the tree, and observe that the angle of elevation of the top of this tree measured from a table, which is what, 1.5 meter above the ground. 1.5 meter above the ground is 34 degrees 28 minutes, which is the same thing as 34.47. Okay, so now the question is, calculate the height of the tree to the nearest meters. So we want to get this height of the tree. So now let's call this place A and this place D. All right, so what we want to get now is from here to this. Okay, so now how do we go about this? Now when you look at the diagram very well, you will see now this line SF is parallel to line TD. So that means that, and also as you can see now, TS is also parallel to DF. So it implies that length TD is equals to length SF, which is equals to what? 20 meters. Okay, so now we can now consider this triangle ADT. Triangle ADT. So in triangle ADT, you can see now we need to identify the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. As you can see now, this is going to be the opposite, adjacent. Okay, because this is the line or the side that is touching the reference angle and angle 90, and this is the what? The hypotenuse. Okay, so I'll quickly remind myself of the SOHCAHTOA. So which string function am I going to use here? I'll be making use of tan, because we can see opposite and adjacent. So we have opposite and adjacent. So these are the two sides that we are considering. All right, so we have tan 34.47 degrees equals to opposite, that is AD, length AD, over adjacent. So adjacent is 20 meters, so over 20. Okay, so here we can cross multiply. So we have AD equals to 20 times tan 34.47 degrees. Okay, so we have AD equals to 20 times. So now you check your four-figure table, tan 34.47. All right, so you check 34 under 4 and you add difference 7. Okay, can we do that now? Check your four-figure table, and if you don't have your four-figure table, you can make use of your calculator. So now I want you to do that and drop your answer in the comment section, because I want this class to be interactive. So if you don't have all of these around you, quickly get that, because you need to participate in this class. So now, what is tan 34.47? Okay, so drop your answer in the comment section and let's see what you have. Tan 34.47. Yes, I'm waiting for your answer. So what is the answer? Tan 34.47. So if you don't have your four-figure table around you, you can go get it now, and or you make use of your calculator. So punch tan 34.47. Okay, I can see Nifemi dropping an answer here. So you have 0.6865. Okay, that is good. Okay, I can also see Oluwatosin. Okay, yes, I can see Shomide. Right. Okay, good. Okay, so others can drop their answer as well while we continue with the class. So you drop your answer. Make sure you participate. All right, make sure you participate. Okay, so now if you punch your calculator or you check your four-figure table correctly, so you are going to have 0.6865. All right, So this is what you are going to have. All right, so if you multiply that times 20, so what are you going to have now? Okay, let's put the answer here. So that is going to give you AD 3 meters. The length here, AD, right, of the height of the tree. Right? So now, but the question wants us to get the height of the tree. The height of the tree is length AF. So what we need to do now, we had length AD plus length DF. We had the two together. All right, and don't forget our notes that length DF is equals to length TS. Okay, so DF equals to TS. So, and it's equals to what? 1.5 meters. Okay, so now to get length AF, which is the height of the tree, so you had length AD plus length DF. So, and that gives you 13.73 plus 1.5. Okay, so what do we have? We have what? So that's going to be 1415. Okay, let's see. To be on the silver side, we have 13.73 plus 1.5. So what do you have? You have 15.23 meters. So this is the height of the tree. So the height of the tree is 15.23 meters. But don't forget, the question says that we should express our answer correct to the nearest meters. To the nearest meters. So what is going to be the nearest meter of 15.23? So nearest meter is going to be 15 meters. Nearest meters. So this is the answer to the problem. So I want to believe you understand this question. All right. So this is the past question. Waec past question. All right. So if this question were to be marked, now the examiner expected you to draw this diagram correctly. So there will be a mark for the diagram. And there's one thing you need to know. Once your diagram is 0, even if all your workings are correct, everything will be marked down. So your diagram is the first thing when solving this type of problem. Okay? So now look at this. For drawing all this correctly, 2 marks will be awarded to that. Okay? And for also stating that TD equals to SF, there will be a block mark for that. Now, for making use of this trig function, trig ratio, so we have M1, and for getting the answer, we have A1. For adding this side and this side together, we have M1. And for getting the answer, A1. And for getting the correct answer to the nearest meter, you have another accuracy mark, 1. So how many marks altogether? We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 marks all together. All right, so that is how you expected to solve this problem. All right, so if you are just joining us, if this is the first time you are coming to this platform and you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do that, and don't forget to give this class a thumb if you actually enjoy the class. All right, okay, so Now let us look at another question under trigonometry. All right, this is another question here for you under trigonometry. Okay, so it's a real life problem, and let's see the question. Let's see how we are going to solve the problem. The angle of elevation of the top of a radio mast from a point due east of it and 96 meters away from its base is 30 degrees. From another point due west of the mast, the angle of elevation of the top is 60 degrees. Now the question is this: calculate the distance of the second point from the base of the mast. All right, so I want to believe you all get the question, because the first thing is to understand the concept of the question before we begin solving. Okay, so let's draw the horizontal graph where we have the mast. Okay, suppose this is the mast. The mast is expected to be perpendicular to the ground level. Okay, so now let's read the question now. The angle of elevation of the top of a radio mast from a point due east. Due east. This is the east. Okay, due east of it, and 96 meters away from its base is 30 meters at 30 degrees. Okay, so we have this. So it's going to look like this. So we have this to be the top, and the distance here should be 96 meters. Okay, let's call this point A. And the angle of elevation here is 30. Okay, now let's move this to the back a little bit. Let's move it down this way. Okay, so this point A. So the angle here is 30 degrees. Okay, now can we go through the question again? Now see, the angle of elevation of the top of a radio mast, the top of this radio mast, from a point due east of it, due east of this mast pole, and 96 meters from its base is 30 degrees. So from the base of 96 meters. So this is going to be 96 meters. I want to believe you all understand that. Okay, so now let's move on. From another point, due west, so the other side, due west of the mast, the angle of elevation of the top is 60 degrees. So we have here, this one should be closer. Okay, so this is going to be 60 degrees. So the angle of elevation of the second point is 60 degrees. Okay, I want to believe you understand that, right? Okay, so now the question now says calculate the distance of the second point from the base of the mast. So you want to get this from here to here, because this is the second point, point B, from the base here. So let's call this base R. Okay, so now the first thing to do is to get this height of the mast. So let's consider this triangle. In triangle TRA, triangle TRA. So let's look at it. This is the side that is touching the right angle and the reference angle. So this is adjacent. This is opposite. Why this is the hypotenuse? Side that is facing the right angle. Okay, we have a right angle here. Side that is facing the right angle is what we call the hypotenuse. All right, so I'm considering the adjacent and the opposite now. Right, so that is going to give us, using your SOHCAHTOA, you can see that's going to be tan. So that is tan 30 degrees equals to opposite. Can you see that opposite here? Opposite is length TR. So that's TR. Opposite over adjacent. Adjacent is 96. All right. So, and don't forget, what is tan 30? Tan 30. Don't forget, we discussed about all the special angle in my last video. All right. So by now, I expect every one of you to be able to tell me what is tan 30. So can you drop that in the comment section? Let me see if we can still recall or we still remember before I give you the answer. So I don't want to do everything for you. So what is tan 30? Tan 30, what is tan 30? You are not making use of four-figure table this time around. It's a special angle. So you are giving your answer in short form. What is tan 30? Yes, anyone? All right. Olukorede have dropped an answer. Do we have any other person that want to give the answer? Any other person? Yes. Okay, I can see Uncle J. Uncle J. All right. Any other person that have? All right. Huba, tan 30 is 1 over square root of 3. All right. I want you guys to put your hands together for yourself. You guys are doing well. Honestly, you are doing well. And I want to believe you are not checking your notes somewhere. All right. Okay, good. So you must master all these things because we derived all these things. Okay. So now the answer is actually 1 over square root of 3. That's very good of you. 1 over square root of 3 equals to TR over 96. Okay, so here, what do you do from here? You cross multiply. So you have TR square root of 3 equals to 96, right? So this multiplies this, and this multiplies this. You have this. Okay, so here now, you divide both sides by the coefficient of TR. And what is that? What would that give us? So we have TR, length TR equals to 96 over square root of 3 in meters. So that is what we have. Okay, so we now have the height. So the next thing now is to get this distance because this is what the question required from us. We want to get the distance between the second point and the foot of the radio mast. Okay, so how do we do that? So we look at this triangle. So let's look at this triangle. Triangle TRB. TRB. Okay, in this triangle, and let's examine it very well, you will see that this is the opposite. This is adjacent and this is hypotenuse. Don't forget that adjacent side touches the reference angle and the right angle. Hypotenuse is the side that is facing the right angle. Okay, so now I need to get this, but I have this here now. I've gotten the opposite, which is TR. We have TR to be 96 over square root of 3. So now let's connect this and this now, opposite and adjacent. So what trig function are we going to use? That's going to be tan. So 12. So we have tan 60 degrees equals to opposite. That's 96 over square root of 3. Opposite over adjacent. What is adjacent? We have divided by, okay, BR. Okay, so now what is tan 60? Yes. So I'm expecting every one of you to drop your answer now in the comment section. What is tan 60? All right. What's tan 60? I want you to drop that in the comment section. Tan 60. What is tan 60 in short form? Good. Nifemi is the first person to give us an answer. So, but I'm going to tell you whether correct or not? Yes, I can see Uncle J. All right. Who else is giving us an answer? I'm waiting for Olukorede. I'm also waiting for Omotolani. All right. You have been giving me answer in time. Yes. Another person. I hope you are not checking your jotter. Okay. All right. So let us work with this that we have here. So who else have dropped an okay? I can see Olukorede. Okay, good, good. All right. So honestly, you guys are doing well. That is very, very correct. So tan 60 is square root of 3. Square root of 3. So I don't need to use four-figure table calculator this time around. So I have square root of 3, which that have replaced our tan 60 equals to 96 over square root of 3 times 1 over BR. You know, this is the same thing as BR over 1. So when you change this to multiplication, so it's going to be the reciprocal of what we have here. Okay, so now this move down to square root of 3 equals to, now this times 96 times 1, that's 96 over, now let's multiply this, we have BR square root of 3. Okay, so here you can cross multiply. We have this, let's cross multiply. So this multiplies this. So we have, now when you use this to multiply this, you have BR. Now this third radical, multiply this radical. So we have square root of 9, or you simply write 3, okay, equals to 96. You know, square root of 3 times square root of 3, that gives you square root of 9. And why square root of 9 is what? 3. So I can simply write, in this case, since we know that it's going to give us square root of 3, and that is square root of 9 rather, and that is going to give you 3. So you can simply write 3 BR equals to 96. I want to believe you understand that. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. So, and multiply by BR. Okay, so now BR, length BR equals to 96 over 3. Okay, so therefore BR, length BR will give us 32. 32. What's going to be the units? 32 meters. So 32 meters. So the distance between the second point and the foot of the tree is what? 32 meters. So that is the answer to the problem. All right. So I want to believe you all understand the solution to this problem. So I'm going to show you how marks will be awarded to this type of question. Now, the first thing is the diagram. Now, this type of question, if you solve without diagram, you score 0. No points will be given to you. So diagram is very, very important. So now for drawing the diagram correctly, you have B2 for that. 2 marks, 2 points for that. Okay. For making use of this trig ratio, you have M1, and for getting your answer to be this, you have A1, 96 over square root of 3. All right, so you can rationalize if you like. So you can rationalize the denominator, but there's no problem. So once you're able to write this, so marks will be given, your mark will be given to. Now let's move on. So considering the second triangle, for writing this trig ratio, there will be a method mark 1 for that. And for getting the answer to be this, we have an accuracy mark for that. Okay, so now that is how marks will be awarded. Can we count all the marks? Now we have 2, 4, 5, no, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 marks all together. Okay, so we are moving down to another question. Now, before we do that, if you have not give this class a thumb, kindly do that, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. Let us have more view on this channel. Okay, so and if you have not subscribed to this channel, ensure you do that. Okay, now let's look at this question. Okay, yes, I want to believe we can all see the question. Can we see the board clearly? And can you all hear me? Yeah, can we see the board clearly? Can you hear me? Yes, I want you to drop in the comment section if you can hear me, and you can as well see the board. Can you see the board? Can you hear me? Okay, okay, okay. Not that bold. All right. So, uh, all right. No problem. So, I can see that someone said it's not too bold. So I will work on that. Probably we need to extend the board. Okay. So that's a good problem. So we are going to solve the problem. All right. Okay. So for every problem, there is always a mathematical explanation. So that means we have to extend the length and the breadth. Okay. So all right. Now let's look at the question on the board. So a girl 160 centimeter tall stand 150 meter from the foot of a building. She finds that the angle of elevation of the top of the building is 17 degrees. Calculates the height of the building to the nearest half meter. Okay, so all right, so how do we solve this problem? Now, I must understand the question, just like I've said, this is a word problem, it's a real life problem. So I must understand what the problem is all about so that I'll be able to find a solution to it. A girl 160 centimeter tall stand 150 meter from the foot of a building. Now, when you look at this question, you will see some discrepancy in units. So you have to pay attention to the units. Now look at it. The height of the girl is 160 centimeter. And look here, the distance of the girl from the foot of the building is 150 meters. Can you see? So they now have different units. So I cannot just go ahead and use the same unit. So I will different unit rather. So I have to convert them and convert one to another. So I'm going to express the height of the girl in meters. Now it has been given in centimeter. So I think I should begin to ask you now, how many centimeter make 1 meters? I still remember when we were in primary school, we sing, we dance, with it. So I want to believe every one of you should be able to tell me that. So how many centimeter make 1 meters? How many centimeters makes 1 meter? Okay. Yes, I want you to drop your answer in the comment section. Let me just see. Let me say if we really still remember how many centimeter make 1 meter. Make 1 meter. How many centimeters make 1 meter? How many centimeter make 1 meter? Is anybody that will give me the correct answer here? Yes. Without checking anywhere. Do you know? Okay, Omolara, do you know? Uncle J, do you know? Olukorede, do you know? Olukorede, do you know? Okay, yes. I'm waiting for answer. All right, okay. Show me they has given an answer. All right, okay, good, good, good. Let's wait for others. Is anybody dropping anything different from what we have here? Okay, Uncle J, 100 centimeter. Okay. All right. Now, because of our time, let's quickly do that. Let's do that. Okay. So you can see that mathematics, you just must know certain things. We are talking about units now. Very, very important. That's things that we've learned in our primary school, which we're now using now. Okay. So now let's do that. So height of the of the girl is 160 divided by 100, and that gives you what? 1.6 meters. So this is going to be the height of the girl. I want to believe you understand that, since 100 centimeter make 1 meters. So that means you have to divide by 100 to give you a meter. Okay, so now let us now display that here on our diagram. So this is an horizontal graph where we have a building. So a building is assumed to be perpendicular to the horizontal level. Okay, so now we have a girl which is 1.6 meter tall. Okay, that we have the girl here, 1.6 meter tall. 1.6 meter. Now let's represent this with G, and this F. Okay, now she finds that the angle of elevation of the top of the building is 17 degrees. Okay, so now this is an horizontal graph. So the angle of elevation of this top is 17 degrees. Okay, and don't forget this is going to be right angle. This line is drawn such that it's parallel to this. And don't forget this will also be parallel to this. So let's call this A, and this B, and this C. Okay, so this is the angle of elevation of the top of the building, top C. Okay, so now let's look at the question. Calculate the height of the building to the nearest half meter. So we want to get the height of the building. We want to get length CH. Okay, so here you consider this triangle ABC. Look at this triangle ABC. So now when you look at this triangle ABC, now this side is equal to this side. And in the question we have been given, okay, we have been given that the girl is 150 meters from the foot of the building. Now this is the girl, 150 meters from the foot of the building. This is the foot of the building, and this is the girl here. So this place is 150 meters. So that means AB2 will be what? 150 meters. 150 meters. Okay. So now we can now consider this triangle ABC. So when you consider that, we need to get this. Let's call this X. So in triangle ABC, we have, this is opposite and this adjacent. So we are making use of our tan 17 degrees equals to opposite over adjacent. That's going to be X over 150. X over 150. So here you can cross multiply. So we have X equals to 150 times tan 17 degrees. So X equals to 150 times, what is tan 17 degrees? So it's now your turn to give me the answer to that, tan 17 degrees. So you can check your profit table if you have with you. So just check tan of angles. So you check 17 under 0. So what do you have? If you have checked, you drop your answer in the comment section. And if you don't have your profit table with you, you can make use of your calculator, right? So you just tap tan 17 degrees. Okay, so what do you have? Can you drop your answer in the comment section? Let's see what you have there. All right, okay, Lifemi, I've dropped an answer. So we have 0.3057 Yes, another person. Okay. Okay, I think Uncle J have done that before. Nifemi drops a hole. Okay, 0.3057. Any other person? Any other person? Yes. Good. Yes. Lukman. Yes, I can see your answer. Is there another person? Another person that want to drop? Okay, so okay, I think I can see Gabriel and Shabi. Okay, Sebi, okay. 0.3057. That is good. That's good. All right. Okay, so yes, that is correct. That is correct. With what I have here, I have tan 17 is 0.3057. Okay, so I want to believe every one of you are doing well. All right, so now can we multiply together and see what we have? So 0.3057. So now let's multiply this and see what we have. So if we multiply, we have 45, 45.855, and that is going to be in meters. All right. So when you multiply this by this, so that's what we have. So now the distance between B and C is 45.855 meters. So let us now get the height of the building. Height of the building, that's length of CF. So length CL equals to length CB plus length BF. Okay, so this plus this gives us CF. Okay, so we have CB is this, is the X. So that is 45.855 plus BF. BF is the same thing as AG. Okay, BF is the same thing as AG. So that's going to be 1.6 meters. Okay, so now when you add together, what do you have? Plus 1.6. Okay, so you have 47.455 meters. Okay, so that is the answer to the problem, right? But the question asks you to correct your answer to the nearest 1/2 meters. Now, when you look at this, 1/2 is the same thing as 0.5. So we want to correct this to the nearest 0.5 meter. Okay, so to do that, what that one means is you correct this to the nearest tenth, or we say to the nearest 1 dp. Okay, I want to believe you understand that. So now this is going to be 47 meters. Okay, so 47 meters is the answer. All right, so I want to believe we all understand the solution to this problem. Okay, so now let's see how are we going to award mark today. Now for converting the height of the girl from centimeter to meter, there is a block mark for that. Okay, for drawing this diagram correctly, another block mark B2. So for using trig ratio, we have M1. Okay, and for getting side CB, which is the same thing as X, that's A1. Now for adding, we have M1, and for getting the answer, we have A1. So how many marks altogether? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 marks all together. All right. Okay. So I want to believe we all enjoy the class and we understand what has been explained today. You know, I told you that the class is going to be an interesting one, and I can assure you that tomorrow is we are going to solve a lot of problems, and it's going to be interesting. So we are going to be stopping here today. So don't forget, if you are watching this video for the first time, ensure you subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to give a thumb to the class. All right, so thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you for always being online to learn mathematics. Thank you very much. Bye bye.